blood sugar alert canine style. After suffering 6 diabetic comas, Winter Leet found her saving grace in her companion, Jazz, a highly trained medical assistance dog, by Lawrence Siebert. There's an old age saying that states a dog is a man's best friend, but Jazz, a European German Shepherd and a diabetic alert dog, is one woman's best friend. Winter Leet was diagnosed with type 1 juvenile diabetes at the age of 12, and as she got older, she noticed her body had become desensitized and stopped alerting her when her blood sugar was getting too low. As I got older, my ability to recognize when my sugar is dropping has deteriorated. I don't get those sensitivities anymore until it's almost too late. When I was younger and my sugar would drop at night, I'd wake up. But about 10 years ago, that started changing. I lost more and more in the day and stopped waking up at night, and I've gone into 3 comas. After surviving her 3rd diabetic coma in a 2-year period, a friend informed her that there was a service dog specially trained to detect when a diabetic's blood sugar level is too high or too low. Leet said she set out to find a place to get a service dog. After contacting a company in California, Leet felt somewhat discouraged when she was told she lived out of the placement range. I had no idea or what kind of dog I was going to get. I googled dogs for diabetics. I found all kinds of other dogs for mobility, hearing, autism, seeing, but I couldn't find any for diabetics. 2 days after speaking with her son, she received a phone call, which was the key to setting her on the path to finding Jazz. Leet was able to contact Julie, a woman who trained dogs for diabetics, and soon after, she was able to obtain Jazz. She's awesome. I was told they trained her on the scent for low blood sugar, Leet noted, and Jazz's first test came almost immediately. The trainers told me she picked up the sugars on her own, and I'll never forget, Leet said, recalling Jazz's first save. I had her 2, maybe 3 days. I was at the door emptying the vacuum bag, and Jazz gets up and barks. My trainers told me, trust your dog, so I got up and tested. I was at 300. Leet says that in 1.5 years that she's had Jazz, she's never been wrong with one of her alerts. What is even more remarkable is that as Jazz becomes more attuned to her, the dog is actually tightening her numbers by alerting her when her blood sugar levels are outside of a narrower range. As a result, her lab results have greatly improved. Julia told me that they begin training the dogs as early as 6 to 8 weeks. Originally, they had intended on keeping Jazz, but the timing was perfect. Just as I came along, they had decided to place her. SRSG asked Leet how she could differentiate between Jazz's regular bark, that is the nature of a dog, and her alert bark. Leet explained how it worked, and, as it turned out, Jazz sounded the alert during our interview. When she barks to alert me, she will come over, smell in my area, and she will give me a soft bark and become more persistent over time. It's all scent work. She smells a chemical change. When your sugar moves up or down, it produces a chemical, and she has been trained to recognize that specific chemical and alert. After watching Jazz in action, she would begin by just clacking her teeth together. As the minutes passed, her bark became a soft sneeze-like sound, and then a muffled woof. But by the time the interview was over, Jazz was in full voice, letting Leet know it was definitely time to do something about her sugar. Jazz has been a literal hero and lifesaver many times, says Leet. Jazz has detected her sugar changes even when she's been sleeping, and has been able to wake Leet's husband to let him know something is wrong. So she doesn't let up, especially at night. When I want to sleep, she'll keep it up till I do something about it. The bond between Leet and Jazz is unique. Jazz understands her responsibilities and adheres strictly to the rules, but occasionally she can just be a dog. Those times may be rare, but for Leet and Jazz, they too are precious. Jazz is kept to a strict diet and schedule because she is always on the clock. She's allowed some normal dog stuff like chasing the cats, playing fetch, and lounging around when everything is okay. But she knows at any time she could be needed and knows what she does is important.